Why, hello YouTube. This is BalorMage again, bringing you another build. What we've been playing for the last few days. Normal hit, non-poison, non-explodey, not popcorn, just normal hit summon raging spirits. This build has been, at least for me, quite a blast from the past. I haven't played a minion build at all, I don't think, in quite some leagues, but I definitely haven't played Summon Raging Spirits in quite a while. And it has well outperformed all of my expectations, to be honest. I have taken it into regular bosses, but not the uber bosses. To be honest with you, no build is uber boss viable if I'm the one piloting it. I'm just going to get hit by everything and die. So you're not going to see me testing anything on uber bosses. You're just not. The build is probably capable from a smart person, especially with more investment. Right now, what we're seeing in the background is only somewhere between 20 and 25 divines worth of investment. I say only, that's still a pretty decent amount of investment. But right now in the background there, we've got about 7 million DPS, a really nice effective life pool of 5.9 to 6k, depending on where the footage came from. It's super nice. It is not block cap and spell block capped, but it is 70% block and 66% spell block at the moment, and that's true block, not glancing blows. So that's really nice. A little bit more investment could have both of those capped, but we wanted to keep the investment in this build relatively reasonable, 20 to 25-ish range. Give as many people a chance to be able to do it as possible. Now, I do want to say, this is not explicitly a build guide. I don't know enough about this build yet to do a full build guide, because I want to test it in a full league start scenario. I want to build out gear sets and progression, because honestly, Necromancer Summon Raging Spirits might be a really good contender for an all-rounder for league starting, because it's just run absolutely amazingly. So I'm going to take you into our path of building and show you what we've got. There are some things that have been a little bit hard to calculate, but we'll go through them anyway. All right, so this is our current path of building. As you can see, we've got quite a bit more life than I normally would build. The main reason for this is because I think the second cluster jewel setup is probably the way to go. But that would involve buying a second cluster jewel. And of my 20 to 25-ish divines total that I've spent on this, probably, what was it? So this cluster jewel and these two mediums on their own was about 9 divines worth. There was a fairly decent chunk of the price is literally right here. And so I didn't want to double all of that and put a whole nother setup up here. So we have gone for a little more life than we normally would. We've gotten the floating points and the floating points, and we've even traveled over here and gotten out this wheel, which is quite nice, really good. But you know, for me, more than about 4.5k life, I'd rather invest in other things normally. But again, price. So if you've got more money, I would suggest double clusters. But we have a few things going on here. You can see our full DPS is just shy of 7 mil here. However, there are some weird things going on here, like my 2 specters. We have the Pale Seraphim, if that's how you say it, and we also have an Arena Master. Those are my 2 specters. They're immortal, they never die. Path of Building won't let me put both of them on at once, and I don't know how to fudge that in. So you can see if I put the Arena Masters on, it thinks my total DPS is 6.7, and if I put the Pale Seraphim on, it thinks my total DPS is 6.9. However, we have both. There are 2 specters, we've got both of them, so I don't know how to do that. We also have a 15% Scorch from our Animate Guardian, and I haven't been able to figure out how to make Scorch show up to be able to set it. So fudging in nearby enemies are scorched did work, but it's given me the default 10% scorch. So we go like that, and it's giving me a default 10% scorch. It's actually a 15, so that brings me up to 7.3. I've written Culling Strike in because our Animate Guardian gives us Culling Strike, as well as Fortify at 10 stacks. I don't know how to put the Animate Guardian gear in either, to be honest. I do have a list of the Animate Guardian gear here. The most important part is it's mostly just res cap, physical mitigation, all the normal stuff you'd expect, except I am running the Scorch Boots from Maven to give us the 15%, and I am also running a Gravebind. The Gravebind, I'm going to be honest, I was just playing around with it to see if it would work. It didn't really seem to increase the clear any when I put it on. It's kind of cool to see the explosions sometimes. I think you could just go with Southbound. Yeah, I think you could just go with Southbound and that would be fine. You can also see we've gone pretty decently low budget with the gear. We're just using a Darkness Enthralled. All of our jewels are only about 30 to 40 C each. They're all relatively cheap. I do have a Covenant, which is incredibly nice. Level 29 added chaos, huge. Even though we're cursing with flammability, even though we're fire exposing, we're doing all fire damage. Just the raw flat number of added chaos damage at level 29, insanely good. So hard to beat. In this build, I didn't even go for a +2 helmet. I actually went for the Devouring Diadem. Just let us fit a bunch more auras in. Much lower budget than getting a decent +2 helmet. 25% RMR is insane. I actually think if I was going to min-max this build, I might even keep the Devouring DM, and what I would want to do is just get one enchanted with the Golem that I have buff effect. The Carrion Golem buff effect would be the helmet I would put on there. But super min-maxing this, we could have gone for a +2 weapon instead of a +1 weapon. We could have gone for more minion movement speeds. We could have gone for a lot of things. We could have done a lot more. We actually don't even have Woke multi-strike because that would have made it significantly more expensive, but you can see that adds nearly 1 million DPS just on its own. And also we do have a gem swap. I have not been running multi-strike for bossing. I've just been running Awakened Melee Splash, which puts our DPS down a bit, but we're still blasting through maps, and Melee Splash is what gives me all the clear in the world. So that's just been, I've just had multi-strike sitting in an off weapon, and when I go to kill a proper boss of some kind, swap that in. Now you're a single target beast. That's it. This has been fantastic. Like I said, this video is more of just a showcase of what I've been doing than it is an actual build guide. Later on this league, we'll probably put a bit more work and love into Summon Raging Spirits, see how it works at different stages, see if it's worth making into a proper build guide. But that's my entire build. The one other thing I have to say about this build is that my Animate Guardian's health has not moved. I have gone and gotten quite a lot of regen. We've got renewal there, renewal there, renewal there. We've got the Dread March here for life, movement speed, physical damage reduction, bit of chaos res. My Animate Guardian is chaos res capped. It's elemental res capped. It has the Doppelgangers guys on for 40% recovery. And I'm also using this thread to get another 15% physical mitigation, as well as bleed doesn't do any extra damage when you move. I also have a Convocate that's just on my keyboard. To be honest, haven't really needed it. When I say my Animate Guardian's life hasn't moved, I mean if he took a Cirrus Beam to the face, he might drop a slither, like 5 to 10% of his life, then straight back up. So my experience so far has been that he just hasn't died at all. He hasn't taken any damage. He doesn't take any damage from Tull Breaths. He doesn't take any damage from Zophs. I assume the things that could always kill him will still be able to, like a sufficiently deep, dangerous Ul fight or Ul fight, or however you say that, the Delve boss one. I assume that will still be able to get him. And I have to assume that if you intentionally put him in harm's way in some Uber bosses, they might be able to kill him. But so far, all regular content haven't been able to see his health move. Just can't do it. So fantastic, absolutely worth building. If you're looking for a minion build to play, I can't suggest SRS enough. More work will go into a proper build guide later on if more testing reveals it's as good as I think it's going to be at league start. But this is what I've been playing. Next build coming up is going to be Death's Oath, because I kind of miss Death's Oath. I haven't played that in a while. It looks really fun. I'm going to work on that. And I will see everybody next time. Goodbye.